And you're listening to Watchman on the Pod. I just wanted to just read some of the Bible. I wanted to read out of Proverbs today. And I don't know how many chapters I will do. I will probably edit the title when I'm done. Sometimes I just need to read the word, for myself. And I like to read it out loud, so why not record it while I'm reading it? I'll be reading from the Matthew's Bible, the 1537 edition. And it is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to learn wisdom, instruction, understanding, prudence. I think that goes together. There's no comments there. So we're going to go the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to learn wisdom, instruction, understanding, prudence, righteousness, judgment, and equity. That the very babes might have wit, and that young men might have knowledge and understanding. By hearing the wise man shall come by more wisdom, and by experience he shall more apt to understand a parable, and the interpretation thereof, the words of the wise, and the dark speeches of the same. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, but fools despise wisdom and destruction. My son, hear thy father's doctrine, and forsake not the law of thy mother, for that shall bring grace unto thy head, and shall be a chain about thy neck. My son, consent not unto sinners. If they entice thee and say, Come with us, let us lay wait for blood, and lurk privily for the innocent without a cause. Let us swallow them up like the hell. Let us devour them quick and whole as they go down into the pit. So shall we find all manner of costly riches and fill our houses with spoil. Cast in thy lot among us. We shall have all one purse. My son, walk not thou with them. Refrain thy foot from their ways. For their feet run to evil and are hasty to shed blood. But in vain is the net laid forth before the bird's eyes. Yea, they themselves lay wait one for another's blood, and one of them would slay another. These are the ways of all such as be covetous, that one would ravish another's life. Wisdom crieth without, and putteth forth her voice in the streets. She calleth before the congregation in the open gates, and sheweth her words through the city, saying, O ye children, how long will ye love childishness? How long will the scorners delight in scorning, and the unwise be enemies unto knowledge? O turn you unto my correction. Lo, I will express my mind unto you, and make you understand my words. Seeing then that I have called, and ye refused it, I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded it. But all my counsels have ye despised, and set my corrections at naught. Therefore shall I also laugh in your destruction, and mock you, when the thing that ye fear cometh upon you. Even when the thing that ye be afraid of falleth in suddenly like a storm, and your misery like a tempest, yea, when trouble and heaviness cometh upon you. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not hear. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. And that because they hated knowledge, and receiveth not the fear of the Lord, but abhorred my counsel, and despised my correction. Therefore shall they eat the fruits of their own way, and be filled with their own counsels. For the turning away of the unwise shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall be their own destruction. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and have enough without any fear of evil. Chapter 2. My son, if thou wilt receive my words, and keep my commandments by thee, that thine ear may hearken unto wisdom, apply thine heart then to understanding. For if thou criest after wisdom, and callest for knowledge, if thou seekest after her as after money, and diggest for her as for treasure, Then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord, and find the knowledge of God. For it is the Lord that giveth wisdom. Out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. He preserveth the welfare of the righteous, and defendeth them that walk innocently. He keepeth them in the right path, and preserveth the way of his saints. Then shalt thou understand righteousness, judgment, and equity, yea, in every good path. If wisdom enter into thine heart, and thy soul delight in knowledge, then shall counsel preserve thee, and understanding shall keep thee, that thou mayest be delivered from the evil way, and from the man that speaketh froward things, from such as leave the high street, and walk in the ways of darkness, which rejoice in doing evil, and delight in wicked things, whose ways are crooked, and their paths scandalous. Launderous, I can't say that. I don't know what that word is. Scandalous, that thou mayest be delivered also from the strange woman, and from her that is not thine own, which giveth sweet words, forsaketh the husband of her youth, and forgetteth the covenant of her God. For her house is inclined unto death, and her paths unto hell. All they that go in unto her come not again, neither take they hold of the way of life, that thou mayest walk in the good way, and keep the paths of the righteous. For the just shall dwell in the land, and the innocents shall remain in it. But the ungodly shall be rooted out of the land, and the wicked doers shall be taken out of it. Chapter 3. O my son, forget not my law, but see that thine heart keep my commandments. For they shall prolong the days and years of thy life, and bring thee peace. Let mercy and faithfulness never go from thee. Bind them about thy neck, and write them in the tables of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and men. Put thy trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways have respect unto him, and he shall order thy goings. Be not wise in thine own conceit, but fear the Lord, and depart from evil. So shall thy navel be whole, and thy bones strong. Honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the firstlings of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenteousness, and thy presses shall flow over with sweet wine. My son, despise not the chastising of the Lord, neither faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth, him he chastiseth, and yet delighteth in him even as a father in his own son. Well is him that findeth wisdom, and obtaineth understanding, for the getting of it is better than any merchandise of silver, and the profit of it is better than gold. Wisdom is more worth than precious stones, and all things that thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Upon her right hand is long life, and upon her left hand is riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peaceable. She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and blessed are they that keep her fast. With wisdom hath the Lord laid the foundation of the earth, and through understanding hath he established the heavens. Through his wisdom the depths break up, and the clouds drop down of the dew. My son, let not these things depart from thine eyes, but keep my law and my counsel. So shall it be life unto thy soul, and grace unto thy mouth. Then shalt thou walk safely in thy way, and thy foot shall not stumble. If thou sleepest, thou shalt not be afraid, but shalt take thy rest and sleep sweetly. Thou needest not to be afraid of any fear, neither for thy violent rushing in of the ungodly when it cometh. I'm not sure what that Sodane is. For the Lord shall be besiege thee, and keep thy foot, that thou be not taken. Refuse not to do good unto him that should have it, so long as thy hand is able to do it. Say not unto thy neighbor, Go thy way, and come again. Tomorrow will I give thee, whereas thou hast now to give him. Intend no hurt unto thy neighbor, seeing he hopeth to dwell in rest by thee. Strive not lightly with any man, whereas he hath done thee harm. Strive not lightly with any man, whereas he hath done thee harm. Follow not a wicked man, and choose none of his ways. For the Lord abhorreth the froward, and his secret is among the righteous. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the ungodly, but he blessed the dwellings of the righteous. As for the scorner, no, I said that wrong. As for the scornful, he shall laugh them to scorn, but he shall give grace unto the lowly. The wise shall have honor and possession, but shame is the permission that fools shall have. Premonition. Chapter 4. Hear ye, I'm sorry, I got so excited. Chapter 4. Hear, O ye children, the fatherly exhortation, and take good heed that ye may learn wisdom. Yea, I shall give you a reward if ye will not forsake my law. For when I myself was my father's dear son, and tenderly beloved of my mother, he taught me also, saying, Let thine heart receive my words, keep my commandments, and thou shalt live. Get the wisdom, get the understanding. Forget not the words of my mouth, and shrink not from them. Forsake her not, she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. The chief point of wisdom is that thou be willing to obtain wisdom, and before all thy goods to get the understanding. Make much of her, and she shall promote thee. Yea, if thou embrace her, she shall bring thee unto honor. She shall make thee a gracious head, and garnish thee with a crown of glory. Hear, my son, and receive my words, that the years of thy life may be many. I will show thee the way of wisdom, and lead thee in the right paths, so that if thou goest therein, there shall not straightness hinder thee. There shall not straightness hinder thee, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not fall. Take fast hold of doctrine, let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. Come not in the path of the ungodly, and walk not in the way of the wicked. Eschew it, and go not therein. Depart aside, and pass over by it. For they cannot sleep except they have first done mischief, neither take they any rest except they have first done some harm. For they eat the bread of wickedness, and drink the wine of robbery. The path of the righteous shineth as the light, and is ever brighter and brighter unto the perfect day. But the way of the ungodly is as the darkness, wherein men fall, and they be aware. My son, mark my words, and incline thine ear unto my sayings. Let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep them even in the midst of thine heart. For they are life unto all those that find them, and health unto all their bodies. Keep thine heart with all diligence, for thereupon hangeth life. Put away from thee a froward mouth, and let the lips of slander be far from thee. Let thine eyes behold the things that is right, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Ponder the path of thy feet, so shall all thy ways be sure. Turn not aside, neither to the right hand, nor to the left, but withhold thy foot from evil. Chapter 5. O my son, give heed unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear unto my prudence, that thou mayest regard good counsel, and that thy lips may keep nurture. For the lips of an harlot are a dropping comb, and her throat is softer than oil. But at the last she is as bitter as wormwood, and as sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down unto death, and her steps pierce through unto hell. She regardeth not the path of life. So unsteadfast are her ways that thou canst not know them. Hear me therefore, O my son, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Keep thy way far from her, and come not nigh the doors of her house, that thou give not thine honor unto another, and thy years to the cruel, that other men be not filled with thy goods, and that thy labors come not in a strange house. Yea, that thou mourn not at the last, when thou hast spent thy body in goods, and then say, Alas, why hated I nurture? Why did my heart despise correction? Wherefore was not I obedient unto the voice of my teachers, and hearkened not unto them that informed me? I am come almost into all misfortune in the midst of the multitude and congregation. Drink of the water of thine own well, and of the rivers that run out of thine own springs. Let thy wells flow out abroad, that there may be rivers of water in the streets, but let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. Let thy well be blessed, and be glad with the wife of thy youth. Wow. Loving is the hind, and friendly is the roe. Let her breast always satisfy thee, and hold thee ever content with her love. My son, wilt thou have pleasure in a harlot, and embrace the bosom of another woman? For every man's ways are open in the sight of the Lord, and he pondereth all their goings. The wickednesses of the ungodly shall catch himself, and with the snare of his own sin shall he be trapped. Because he would not be reformed, he shall die, and for his great foolishness he shall be destroyed. Chapter 6. My son, if thou be surety for thy neighbor, thou hast fastened thine hand with another man, yet thou art bound with thine own words, and taken with thine own speech. Therefore, my son, do this discharge thyself, for thou art come into thy neighbor's danger. Go thy way, then, son, and entreat thy neighbor. Let not thine eyes sleep, nor thine eyelids slumber. Save thyself as a dew from the hand. Is it a dew or a doe? I think a doe. Save thyself as a doe from the hand, and as a bird from the hands of the fowler. Go to the emmet, thou sluggard. Who's the emmet? I wonder what that is. Consider her ways and learn to be wise. I believe in the King James this is ant. Go to the ant. This is emmet, E-M-M-E-T, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and learn to be wise. She hath no guide, no teacher, no leader. Yet in the summer she provideth her meat, and gathereth her food together in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, thou sluggish man? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yea, sleep on still a little, slumber a little, fold thy hands together, yet a little, that thou mayest sleep. So shall poverty come unto thee, as one that travaileth by the way, and necessity like a weaponed man. A dissembling person, a wicked man, goeth with a froward mouth. He winketh with his eyes, he tokeneth with his feet, he pointeth with his fingers. He is ever imagining mischief and frowardness in his heart, and causeth discord. Therefore shall his destruction come hastily upon him. Suddenly shall he be all too broken and not healed. There be 6 things which the Lord hateth, and the 7th he utterly abhorreth. a proud look, a dissembling tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that goeth about with wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in raining to do mischief, a false witness that bringeth up lies, and such one as soweth discord among brethren. My son, keep thy father's commandments, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Put them up together in thine heart, and bind them about the neck, that they may lead thee where thou goest. Preserve thee when thou art asleep, that when thou awakest, thou mayest talk of them. For the commandment is a lantern, and the law is a light. A chastising and nurture is the way of life. They that may keep thee from the evil woman, that they may keep thee from the evil woman, and from the flattering tongue of the harlot, that thou lust not after he beauty in thine heart, unless thou be taken with her fair looks. An harlot will make a man to beg his bread, but a married woman will hunt for the precious life. May a man take fire in his bosom, and his clothes not be burnt? Or can one go upon hot coals at his feet, not be hurt? Even so, whosoever goeth into his neighbor's wife and toucheth her cannot be unguilty. Men do not utterly despise a thief that stealeth to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he may be gotten, he restoreth again 7 times as much, or else he maketh recompense with all the good of his house. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman, he is a fool, and bringeth his life to destruction. He getteth himself also shame and dishonor, such as shall never be put out. For the jealousy and wrath of a man will not be entreated. No, though thou wouldest offer him great gifts to make amends, he will not receive them. Let me move the phone over a little bit. Chapter 7. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments by thee. Keep my commandments and my law, even as the apple of thine eye, and thou shalt live. Bind them upon thy fingers, and write them in the table of thine heart. Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman, that she may keep thee from the strange woman, and from the harlot which giveth sweet words. For out of the window of my house I looked through the trellis, and beheld the simple people, and among other young folks I spied one young fool, going over the streets by the corner in the way toward the harlot's house, in the twilight of the evening, when it began now to be night and dark. And behold, there met him a woman in an harlot's apparel, a deceitful, wanton, and unsteadfast woman, whose feet could not abide in the house. Now she is without, now in the streets, lurketh in every corner. She caught the young man, kissed him, and was not ashamed, saying, I had a vow to pay, and this day I perform it. Therefore came I forth to meet thee, that I might seek thy face, and so I have found thee. I have decked my bed with coverings and cloves of Egypt. My bed have I made to smell of myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us lie together, and take our pleasure till it be daylight. For the good man is not at home. He is gone far off. He hath taken the bag of money with him. Who can tell when he cometh home? Thus, with many sweet words, she overcome him, and with her flattering lips, she won him. Immediately he followed her, as it were an ox led to the slaughter, and like as it were to the stocks, where fools are punished. So long till she had wounded his lover with her dart. So long till she had wounded his liar with her dart. Liver with her dart, like as if a bird hastened to the snare, not knowing that the peril of his life lieth thereupon. Hear me now, therefore, O my son, and mark the words of my mouth. Let not thine heart wander in her ways, and be not thou deceived in her paths. For many one hath she wounded and cast down, yea, many a strong man hath she slain. Her house is the way unto hell, where men go down into the chambers of death. Wow. Chapter 8. Doth not wisdom cry? Doth not understanding put forth her voice? Standeth she not in the high places in the streets and ways? Doth she not cry before the whole city and in the gates where men go out and in? It is you, O you men, saith she, whom I call. Unto you, O ye children of men, lift I up my voice. Take heed unto knowledge, O ye ignorant. Be wise in heart, O ye fools. I keep saying fowls on the other one. I did wrong, guys. Forgive me. It's not fowls, it's fools. Forgive me, forgive me. Take heed unto knowledge, O ye ignorant. Be wise in heart, O ye fools. Give ear, for I will speak of great matters, and open my lips to tell things that be right. For my throat shall be talking of the truth, and my lips abhor ungodliness. All the words of my mouth are righteous. There is no forwardness, nor faults therein. They are all plain to such as will understand, and right to them that find knowledge. Receive my doctrine, therefore, and not silver, and my knowledge more than fine gold. For wisdom is more worth than precious stones. Yea, all things that thou canst desire are not to be compared unto it. I, wisdom, have my dwelling with knowledge, and prudent counsel is mine own. With me is the fear of the Lord, and the eschewing of evil. As for pride, disdain, and evil way, and a mouth that speaketh wicked things, I utterly abhor them. I can give counsel and be a guide. I have understanding. I have strength. Through me, kings reign. Through me, princes make just laws. Through me, lords bear rule, and all judges of the earth execute judgment. I am loving unto those that love me, and they that seek me early shall find me. Riches and honor are with me. Yea, excellent goods and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold and precious stone, and mine increase more worth than fine silver. I walk in the way of righteousness and in the street of judgment, that I may send prosperity to those that love me, and to increase their treasure. The Lord himself had me in possession. The Lord himself had me in possession in the beginning of his ways, or ever he began his work aforetime. I have been ordained from everlasting, and from the beginning, or ever the earth was made. When I was born, there was neither depths nor springs of water. Before the foundations of the mountains were laid, yea, before all hills was I born. The earth and all that is upon the earth was not yet made, no, not the ground itself. For when he made the heavens, I was present. When he set up the depths in order, when he hanged the clouds above, when he fastened the springs of the deep, when he shut the sea within certain bounds, that the waters should not go over their makes, when he laid the foundations of the earth, I was with him, ordering all things, delight daily, and rejoicing alway before him. As for the round compass of this world, I make it joyful. For my delight is to be among the children of men. Therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. O give ear unto nurture, be wise and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, and giving the attendance at the post of my doors. For whoso findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord. But whoso offendeth against me hurteth his own soul. All they that hate me are the lovers of death. My goodness. Chapter 9. Wisdom hath builded herself an house, and hewn out 7 pillars. She hath killed her vitals. Is that no? Let's see. Vitals? Poured out her wine, and prepared her table. She hath sent forth her maidens to cry upon the highest place of the cities. Who is so ignorant? Let him come hither. And to the unwise she said, O come on your way, eat my bread and drink my wine, which I have poured out for you. Forsake ignorance, and ye shall live, and see that ye go in the way of understanding. Whoso reproveth a scornful person getteth himself dishonor, and he that rebuketh the ungodly stayeth himself. Reprove not a scorner, lest he owe the evil will. Is that how it says? Reprove not a scorner, lest he owe the evil will, but rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Give a discreet man but an occasion, and he will be the wiser. Teach a righteous man, and he will increase. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of holy things is understanding. But through me thy days shall be prolonged, and the years of thy life shall be many. If thou be wise, thy wisdom shall do thyself good. But if thou thinkest scorn thereof, it shall be thine own hurt. A foolish, restless woman, full of words, and such one as hath no knowledge, sitteth in the doors of her house upon a stool above in the city, to call such as go by and walk straight in their ways. Who is so ignorant, saith she, let him come hither. And to the unwise she saith, stolen waters are sweet, and the bread that is privily eaten hath a good taste. But they consider not the death is there, and that her guests go down to hell. Yeah, that's the unwise woman, or the stranger. I think it's the harlot. Proverbs chapter 10. The parables of Solomon. A wise son maketh a glad father, but an undiscreet son is the heaviness of his mother. Treasures that are wickedly gotten profit nothing, but righteousness deliver from death. The Lord will not let the soul of the righteous suffer hunger, but he putteth the ungodly from his desire. An idle hand maketh poor, but a quick laboring hand maketh rich. Whoso gathereth in summer is wise, but he that is sluggish in harvest bringeth himself to confusion. Loving and favorable is the face of the righteous, but the forehead of the ungodly is past shame and presumptuous. The memorial of the just shall have a good report, but the name of the ungodly shall stink. A wise man will receive warning, but a fool will sooner be smitten in the face. He that leadeth an innocent life walketh surely, but whoso goeth a wrong way shall be known. He that winketh with his eyes will do some harm, but he that hath a foolish mouth shall be beaten. The mouth of a righteous man is a well of life, but the mouth of the ungodly is past shame and presumptuous. Evil will stir up strife, but love covereth the multitude of sins. In the lips of him that hath understanding, a man shall find wisdom, but the rod belongeth to the back of the foolish. Wise men lay up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is nigh destruction. The rich man's goods are his stronghold, but poverty oppresseth the poor. What's that? The righteous laboreth to do good, but the ungodly useth his increase unto sin. To take heed unto the chastising of nurture is the way of life, but he that refuses to be reformed goeth wrong. Dissembling lips keep hatred secretly, but he that speaketh any slander is a fool. Where much babbling is, there must needs be offense. He that refraineth his lips is wisest of all. An innocent tongue is a noble treasure,
but the heart of the ungodly is nothing worth. The lips of the righteous fed a whole multitude, but fools shall die in their own folly. The blessing of the Lord maketh rich men. As for careful travail, it doth nothing thereto. A fool doth wickedly, and maketh but a sport of it. Nevertheless, it is wisdom for a man to beware of such. The thing that the ungodly are afraid of shall come upon them, but the righteous shall have their desire. The ungodly is like a tempest that passeth over, and no more seen, but the righteous remaineth sure forever. As, oh, what's that word? As vinegar is to the teeth. Oh, as vinegar is to the teeth, and as smoke is unto the eyes, even so sluggish person to them that send him forth. The fear of the Lord maketh a long life, but the years of the ungodly shall be shortened. The patient abiding of the righteous shall be turned to gladness, but the hope of the ungodly shall perish. The way of the Lord giveth a courage unto the godly, but it is a fear for the wicked doers. The righteous shall never be overthrown, but the ungodly shall remain in the land. The righteous shall never be overthrown, but the ungodly shall remain in the land. The mouth of the just will be talking of wisdom, but the tongue of the froward shall perish. The lips of the righteous are occupied in acceptable things, but the mouth of the ungodly take them to the worst. Chapter 11. A false balance is an abomination unto the Lord, but a true weight pleaseth him. Where pride is, there is shame also and confusion, but whereas is lowliness, there is wisdom. The innocent dealing of the just shall lead them, but the unfaithfulness of the despisers shall be their own destruction. Riches help not in the day of vengeance, but righteousness delivereth from death. The righteousness of the innocent ordereth his way, but the ungodly shall fall in his own wickedness. The righteousness of the just shall deliver them, but the despisers shall be taken in their own ungodliness. When an ungodly man dieth, his hope is gone. The confidence of riches shall perish. The righteous shall be delivered out of trouble, and the ungodly shall come in his stead. Through the mouth of the dissembler is his neighbor destroyed, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. When it goeth well with the righteous, the city is merry, and when the ungodly perish, there is gladness. When the just are in wealth, the city prospereth, but when the ungodly have the rule, it decayeth. A fool bringeth up a scandler? What is that word? Scandler. A fool bringeth up a scandler of his neighbor, but a wise man will keep it secret. A dissembling person will discover private things, but he that is of a faithful heart will keep counsel. Where no good counsel is, there the people decay, but where as many are that can give counsel, there is wealth. He that is surety for a stranger hurteth himself, but he that meddleth not with stewardship is sure. Is it stewardship? No, that's not steward. Servantship. I don't know what that word is, guys. I'm so very sorry. He that is surety for a stranger hurteth himself, but he that meddleth not with suretyship is sure. A gracious woman maintaineth honesty. As for the mighty, they maintain riches. He that hath a gentle, liberal stomach is merciful, but whoso hurteth his neighbor is a tyrant. The labor of the ungodly prospereth not, but he that soweth righteousness shall receive a sure reward. Like as righteousness bringeth life, even so to cleave unto evil bringeth death. The Lord abhorreth a feigned heart, but he hath pleasure in them that are undefiled. It shall not help the wicked, though they lay all their hands together, but the seed of the righteous shall be preserved. A fair woman without discreet manners is like a ring of gold in a swine's snout. The just labor for peace and tranquility, but the ungodly for disquietedness. Some man giveth out his goods and is the richer, but the niggard? What is that? The niggard, having enough, will depart from nothing, and yet is ever in poverty. He that is liberal in giving shall have plenty, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. Whoso hoardeth up his corn shall be cursed among the people, but blessing shall light upon his head that selleth it. He that laboreth for honesty findeth his desire, but whoso seeketh after mischief shall happen unto him. He that trusteth in his riches shall have a fall, but the righteous shall flourish as the green leaf. Whoso maketh disquietness in his own house, he shall have wind for his heritage, and the fool shall be servant to the wise. The fruit of the righteous is as the tree of life. A wise man also winneth men's souls. If the righteous be recompensed upon earth, how much more than the ungodly and the sinner? Chapter 12. Whoso loveth wisdom will be content to be reformed, but he that hateth to be reproved is a fool. A good man is acceptable unto the Lord, but the wicked will be condemned. A man cannot endure in ungodliness, but the root of the righteous shall not be moved. A steadfast woman is a crown unto her husband, but she that behaveth herself unhonestly is a corruption in his bones. The thoughts of the righteous are right, but the imagination of the ungodly are deceitful. The talking of the ungodly is how they may lay wait for blood, but the mouth of the righteous will deliver them. Or ever thou canst turn thee about, the ungodly shall be overthrown, but the house of the righteous shall stand. A man shall be commended for his wisdom, but a fool shall be despised. A simple man which laboreth and worketh is better than one that is gorgeous and wanteth bread. A righteous man regardeth the life of his cattle, but the ungodly have cruel hearts. He that tilleth his land shall have plenteousness of bread, but he that followeth idleness is a very fool. The desire of the ungodly hunteth after mischief, but the root of the righteous bringeth forth fruit. The wicked falleth into the snare through the malice of his own mouth, but the just shall escape out of peril. Every man shall enjoy good according to the innocency of his mouth, and after the works of his hands shall he be rewarded. Look what a fool taketh in hand, he thinketh it well done, but he that is wise will be counseled. A fool uttereth his wrath in all the haste, but a discreet man forgiveth wrong. A just man will tell the truth and A just man will tell the truth and show the thing that is right, but a false witness deceiveth. A slanderous person pricketh like a sword, but a wise man's tongue is wholesome. A true mouth is ever constant, but a dissembling tongue is soon changed. They that imagine evil in their mind will deceive, but the counselors of peace shall have joy following them. There shall no misfortune happen unto the just, but the ungodly shall be filled with misery. The Lord abhorreth deceitful lips, but they that labor for truth please him. He that hath understanding can hide his wisdom, but an undiscreet heart telleth out his foolishness. A diligent hand shall bear rule, but the idle shall be under tribute. Heaviness discourageth the heart of man, but a good word maketh it glad again. The righteous is liberal unto his neighbor, but the way of the ungodly will deceive themselves. A deceitful man shall find no vantage, but he that is content with that he hath is more worth than gold. In the way of righteousness there is life, as for any other way is the path unto death. Chapter 13. A wise son will receive his father's warnings, but he that is scornful will not hear when he is reproved. A good man shall enjoy the fruit of his mouth, but he that hath a forward mind shall be spoiled. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, but whoso speaketh unadvised findeth harm. The sluggard would fain have and cannot get his desire, but the soul of the diligent shall have plenty. A righteous man abhorreth lies, but the ungodly shameth both other and himself. Righteousness keepeth the innocent in the way, but ungodliness shall overthrow the sinner. Some men are rich, though they have nothing. Again, some men are poor, having great riches. With goods every man delivereth his life, and the poor will not be reproved. The light of the righteous maketh joyful, but the candle of the ungodly shall be put out. Among the proud there is ever strife, but among those that do all things with adjustment there is wisdom. Hastily gotten goods are some spent, but they that be gathered together with the hand shall increase. Long tarrying for a thing that is differed grieveth the heart, but when the desire cometh, it is a tree of life. Whoso despiseth the word destroyeth himself, but he that feareth the commandments shall have peace. The law is a well of life unto the wise, that it may keep him from the snares of death. Good understanding giveth favor, but hard is the way of the despisers. A wise man doth all things with discretion, but a fool will declare his folly. An ungodly messenger bringeth mischief, but a faithful ambassador is wholesome. He that thinketh scorn to be reformed cometh to poverty and shame, but whoso receiveth correction shall come to honor. When a desire is brought to pass, it delighteth the soul, but fools abhor him that escheweth evil. He that goeth in the company of wise men shall be wise, but whoso is a companion of fools shall be hurt. Mischief followeth upon sinners, but the righteous shall have a God reward. Oh, I think it's a good reward. Could be a God reward too, but good reward. Which their children's children shall have in possession, for the riches of the sinner is laid up for the just. There is plenteousness of food in the field of the poor, and shall be increased out of measure. He that spareth the rod hateth his son, but whoso loveth him holdeth him ever in nurture. The righteous eateth and is satisfied, but the belly of the ungodly hath never enough. Chapter 14. A wise woman upholdeth her house, but a foolish wife plucketh it down. Whoso feareth the Lord walketh in the right path, and regardeth not him that abhorreth the ways of the Lord. In the mouth of the foolish is the boasting of lordship, but the lips of the wise will be ware of such. Where no oxen are, there the crib is empty, but where the oxen labor, there is much fruit. A faithful witness will not dissemble, but a false record will make a lie. A scornful body seeketh wisdom, and findeth it not. But knowledge is easy to come by unto him that will understand. See that thou meddle not with a fool, and do as though thou hadst no knowledge. The wisdom of him that hath understanding is to take heed unto his way, but the foolishness of the unwise deceiveth. Fools make but a sport of sin, but there is favorable love among the righteous. The heart of him that hath understanding will neither despair for any sorrow, nor be too presumptuous for any so dame joy. The houses of the ungodly shall be overthrown, but the tabernacles of the righteous shall flourish. There is a way which some men think to be right, but the end thereof leadeth unto death. The heart is sorrowful even in a laughter, and the end of mirth is heaviness. An unfaithful person shall be filled with his own ways, but a good man will beware of such. An ignorant body believeth all things, but whoso hath understanding looketh well to his goings. A wise man feareth and departeth from evil, but a fool goeth on presumptuously. An impatient man dealeth foolishly, but he that is well advised doth other ways. The ignorant have foolishness in his possession, but the wise are crowned with knowledge. The evil shall bow themselves before the good, and the ungodly shall wait at the doors of the righteous. The poor is hated even of his own neighbors, but the rich hath many friends. Whoso despiseth his neighbor doth amiss, but blessed is he that hath pity on the poor. They that imagine wickedness shall be disappointed, but they that muse upon good things, unto such shall happen mercy. Unto such shall happen mercy and faithfulness. Diligent labor bringeth riches, but where many vain words are, truly there is scarceness. Riches are an ornament unto the wise, but the ignorance of fools is very foolishness. A faithful witness delivereth souls, but a liar deceiveth them. The fear of the Lord is a stronghold, for unto he will be a sure defense. The fear of the Lord is a well of life, to avoid the snares of death. The increase and prosperity of the commons is the king's honor, but the decay of the people is the confusion of the prince. Patience is a token of wisdom, but wrath and hasty displeasure is a token of foolishness. A merry heart is the life of the body, but rancor consumeth away the bones. He that doeth a poor man wrong blasphemeth his maker, but whoso hath pity on the poor doeth honor unto God. The ungodly is afraid of every peril, but the righteous hath good hope even in death. Wisdom resteth in the heart of him that hath understanding, and he will teach them that are unlearned. Righteousness setteth up the people, but wickedness bringeth folk to destruction. A discreet servant is a pleasure unto the king, but one that is not honest provoketh him unto wrath. Chapter 15. A soft answer putteth down displeasure, but froward words provoke unto anger. A wise tongue commendeth knowledge. A foolish mouth babbleth out no thing but foolishness. The eyes of the Lord look on every place, both upon the good and bad. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but he that abuseth it hath a broken mind. A fool despiseth his father's correction, but he that taketh heed when he is reproved shall have the more understanding. In the house of the righteous are great riches, but in the increase of the ungodly there is misorder. A wise mouth poureth out knowledge, but the heart of the foolish doth not so. The Lord abhorreth the sacrifice of the ungodly, but the prayer of the righteous is acceptable unto him. The way of the ungodly is an abomination unto the Lord, but whoso followeth righteousness, him he loveth. He that forsaketh the right street shall be sore punished, and whoso hateth correction falleth into death. The hell with her pain is known unto the Lord. How much more then the hearts of men? A scornful body loveth not one that rebuketh him, neither will he come among the wise. A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but an unquiet mind maketh it heavy. A wise heart will seek after knowledge, but the mouth of fools meddleth with foolishness. All the days of the poor are miserable, but a quiet heart is as a continual feast. Better is a little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure, for they are not without sorrow. Better is a mess of pottage with love than a fair ox with evil will. An angry man stirreth up strife, but he that is patient stilleth discord. The way of the slothful is full of thorns, but the street of the righteous is well cleansed. A wise son maketh a glad father, but an undiscreet body shameth his mother. A fool rejoiceth in foolish things, but a wise man looketh well to his own goings. Unadvised thoughts shall come to naught, but whereas men are that can give counsel, there is steadfastness. Oh, how joyful a thing is it a man to give a covetent answer? No. Convenient. Okay. Oh, how joyful a thing is it a man to give a convenient answer. Or, oh, how pleasant is a word spoken in due season. The way of life leadeth unto heaven, that a man should beware of hell beneath. The Lord will break down the house of the proud, but he shall make fast the borders of the widow. The Lord abhorreth the imaginations of the wicked, but pure words are pleasant unto him. The covetous man rotteth up his own house, but whoso hateth reward shall live. A righteous man museth in his own mind how to do good, but the mind of the ungodly imagineth how he may do harm. The Lord is far from the ungodly, but he heareth the prayer of the righteous. Like as the clearness of the eyes rejoiceth the heart, so doth a good name feed the bones. The ear that hearkeneth unto wholesome warning, and inclineth thereto, shall dwell among the wise. He that refuseth to be reformed despiseth his own soul, but he that submitteth himself to correction is wise. The fear of the Lord is the right science of wisdom, and lowliness goeth before honor. Chapter 16. A man well purpose a thing in his heart, but the answer of the tongue cometh of the Lord. A man thinketh all his ways to be clean, but it is the Lord that fashioneth the minds. Commit thy works the Lord, and look what thou deviseth, it shall prosper. Commit thy works, I think, well, it doesn't have to the Lord, but it does mean to the Lord. Commit thy works to the Lord, and look what thou devisest, it shall prosper. The Lord doth all things in his own sake, yea, when he keepeth the ungodly for the day of wrath. The Lord abhorreth all presumptuous and proud hearts. There may neither strength nor power escape. With loving mercy and faithfulness sins be forgiven, and whoso feareth the Lord, he escheweth evil. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh his very enemies to be his friends. Better is it to have a little thing with righteousness than great rents wrongly gotten. Rents. A man deviseth a way in his heart, but it is the Lord that ordereth his goings. When the prophecy is in the lips of the king, his mouth shall not go wrong in judgment. A true measure and a true balance are the Lord's. He maketh all weights. It is a great abomination when kings are wicked, for a king's seat should be holden up with righteousness. Righteous lips are pleasant unto kings, and they love him that speaketh the truth. The king's displeasure is a messenger of death, but a wise man will pacify him. The cheerful countenance of the king is life, and his loving favor is as the evening dew. To have wisdom in possession is better than gold, and to get understanding is more worth than silver. The path of the righteous escheweth evil, and whoso looketh well to his ways keepeth his own soul. Presumptuous goeth before destruction, and after a proud stomach there followeth a fall. Better is it to be of humble mind with the lowly than to divide the spoils with the proud. He that handleth a matter wisely obtaineth good, and as blessed is he that putteth his trust in the Lord. So whoso hath a wise understanding is called to counsel, but he that cannot speak fair getteth more riches. No, I said that wrong. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. I said that totally wrong. Verse 21. Whoso hath a wise understanding is called to counsel, but he that can speak fair getteth more riches. Understanding is a well of life unto him that hath it. As for the chastising of fools, it is but foolishness. The heart of the wise inform his mouth, and amendeth the doctrine in his lips. Fair words are an honeycomb, a refreshing of the mind, and health of the bones. There is a way that man think to be right, but the end thereof leadeth unto death. A troublous soul disquieteth herself, for her own mouth hath brought her thereto. An ungodly person stirreth up evil, and in his lips he is as an hot fire, burning fire. A froward body causeth strife, and he that is a blabber, of his tongue, maketh division among princes. A wicked man beguileth his neighbor, and leadeth him the way that is not good. He that winketh with his eyes imagineth mischief, and he that biteth his lip will do some harm. Age is a crown of worship, if it be found in the way of righteousness. A patient man is better than one strong, and he that can rule himself is more worth than he that winneth a city. The lots are cast into the lap, but there fall standeth in the Lord. Chapter 17. Better is a dry morsel with quietness than a full house and many fat cattle with strife. A discreet servant shall have more rule than the sons that have no wisdom, and shall have like heritage with the brethren. Like as silver is tried in the fire and gold in the furnace, even so doth the Lord prove the hearts. A wicked body holdeth much of false lips, and a dissembling person giveth ear to a deceitful tongue. Whoso laugheth the poor to scorn, and blasphemeth his Maker, and he that is glad of another man's hurt, shall not be unpunished. Children's children are a worship unto the elders, and the fathers are the honor of the children. An eloquent speech becometh not a fool, and dissembling mouth also bismeth not a prince. Liberalite is a precious stone unto him that hath it, for wheresoever he becometh, he prospereth. Whoso covereth another man's offense seeketh love, but he that discloseth the fault setteth friends at variance. One reproof only doth more good to him that hath understanding than an sea strips unto a fool. I don't know what that means. It has a capital C. It says, than an sea stripes unto a fool. A seditious person seeketh mischief, but a cruel messenger shall be sent against him. It were better to come against a she-bear robbed of her whelps than against a fool in his foolishness. Whoso rewardeth evil for good, the plague shall not depart from his house. He that soweth discord and strife is like one that diggeth up a water brook, but an open enemy is like the water that breaketh out and rinneth abroad. The Lord hateth as well him that justifieth the ungodly as him that condemneth the innocent. What helpeth it to give a fool money in his hand, whereas he hath no mind to buy wisdom? He is a friend that always loveth, and in adversity a man shall know who is his brother. Whoso promiseth by the hand and is surety, or another, he is a fool. Whoso promiseth by the hand and is surety, or another, he is a fool. He that loveth strife delighteth in sin, and whoso setteth his door too high seeketh after a fall. Whoso hath a froward heart obtaineth no good, and he that hath an overthwart tongue shall fall into mischief. An unwise body bringeth himself into sorrow, and the father of a fool can have no joy. A merry heart maketh a lusty age, but a sorrowful mind drieth up the bones. The ungodly taketh gifts out of the bosom to rest the ways of judgment. Wisdom shineth in the face of him that hath understanding, but the eyes of fools wander throughout all lands. An undiscreet son is a grief unto his father, and an heaviness unto his mother that bare him. To punish the innocent and to smite the princes that give true judgment are both evil. He is wise and discreet that tempereth his words, and he is a man of understanding that maketh much of his spirit. Yea, a very fool, when he holdeth his tongue, is counted wise, and to have understanding when he shutteth his lips. There's a lot about talking too much, I've noticed, in these Proverbs. Chapter 18. Whoso hath pleasure to sow discord picketh a quarrel in everything. A fool hath no delight in understanding, but only in those things wherein his heart rejoiceth. Where ungodliness is, there is also disdain, and so there followeth shame and dishonor. The words of man's mouth are like deep waters, and the well of wisdom is like a full stream. It is not good to regard the person of the ungodly, or to put back the righteous in judgment. A fool's lips are ever brawling, and his mouth provoketh unto battle. A fool's mouth is his own destruction, and his lips are the snare of his own soul. The words of a slanderer are very wounds, and go through unto the innermost parts of the body. Whoso is slothful and slack in his labor is the brother of him that is a waster. The name of the Lord is a strong castle. The righteous flieth unto it and shall be saved. But the rich man's goods are his stronghold. Yea, he taketh them for an high wall round about him. After pride cometh destruction, and honor after lowliness. He that giveth sentence in a matter before he hear it is a fool and worthy to be confounded. A good stomach driveth away a man's disease, but when the spirit is vexed, who may abide it? A wise heart laboreth for knowledge, and a prudent ear seeketh understanding. Liberality bringeth a man to honor and worship, and setteth him among great men. The righteous accuseth himself first of all. If his neighbors come, he shall find him. The lot pacifieth the variance, and parteth the mighty asunder. The unity of brethren is stronger than a castle, and they that hold together are like the bar of a palace. A man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his own mouth, and with the increase of his lips shall he be filled. Death and life stand in the power of the tongue. He that loveth it shall enjoy the fruit thereof. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and receiveth an wholesome benefit of the Lord. The poor maketh supplication and prayeth meekly, but the rich giveth a rough answer. A friend that delighteth in love doeth a man more friendship, and sticketh faster unto him than a brother. Chapter 19. Better is the poor that liveth godly than the blasphemer that is but a fool. Where no discretion is, there the soul is not well, and whoso is swift on foot stumbleth hastily. Foolishness maketh a man to go out of his way, and then is his heart unpatient against the Lord. Riches make many friends, but the poor is forsaken of his own friends. A false witness shall not remain unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape. The multitude hangeth upon great men, and every man favoreth him that giveth rewards. As for the poor, he is hated among all his brethren, yea, his own friends forsake him. And he that giveth credence unto words getteth nothing. He that is wise loveth his own soul, and whoso hath understanding shall prosper. A false witness shall not remain unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall perish. Delicate ease becometh not a fool, much more unseemly is it. Let's see, I said that totally wrong. Delicate ease becometh not a fool, much more unseemly is it a bondman to have the rule of princes. A wise man putteth off displeasure, and it is his honor to let some faults pass. The king's disfavor is like the roaring of a lion, but his friendship is like the dew upon the grass. An undiscreet son is the heaviness of his father, and a brawling wife is like the top of an house, wherethrough it is ever dropping. House and riches may a man have, but the heritage of his elders. Oh, sorry, I had something block my way. Houses and riches may a man have by the heritage of his elders, but a discreet woman is the gift of the Lord. Slothfulness bringeth sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. Whoso keepeth the commandment keepeth his own soul, but he that regardeth not his way shall die. He that hath pity upon the poor lendeth unto the Lord, and look what he layeth out, it shall be paid him again. Chasten thy son while there is hope, but let not thy soul be moved to slay him. For great wrath bringeth harm, therefore let him go, and so mayest thou teach him more nurture. O give ear unto good counsel, and be content to be reformed, that thou mayest be wise hereafter. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord shall stand. It is a man's worship to do good, and better it is to be a poor man than dissembler. The fear of the Lord preserveth the life, yea, it giveth plenteousness without the visitation of any plague. A slothful body shutteth his hands into his bosom, so that he cannot put it to his mouth. If thou smitest a scornful person, the ignorant shall take better heed. And if thou reprovest one that hath understanding, he shall be the wiser. He that hurteth his father, or shutteth out his mother, is a shameful and unworthy son. My son, hear no more the doctrine that leadeth away from the words of understanding. A false witness laugheth judgment to scorn, and the mouth of the ungodly eateth up wickedness. Punishments are ordained for the scornful, and the stripes for fools' backs. Chapter 20. Wine is a voluptuous thing, and drunkenness causeth sedition. Whoso delighteth therein shall never be wise. The king ought to be feared as the roaring of a lion. Whoso provoketh him unto anger offendeth against his own soul. It is a man's honor to keep himself from strife, but they that have pleasure in brawling are fools, every one. A slothful body will not go to plow for cold. Therefore shall he go a begging in summer and have nothing. Wise counsel in the heart of man is like a water in the deep of the earth, but he that hath understanding bringeth it forth. Many there be that are called good doers, but where shall one find a true, faithful man? Whoso leadeth a godly and an innocent life, happy shall his children be whom he leaveth behind him. A king that sitteth in judgment and looketh well about him driveth away all evil. Who can say, my heart is clean, I am innocent from sin? To use two manner of weights or two manner of measures, both these are abominable unto the Lord. A child is known by his conversation, whether his works be pure and right. As for the hearing of the ear and the sight of the eye, the Lord hath made them both. Delight not thou in sleep, lest thou come unto poverty, but open thine eyes, and thou shalt have bread enough. It is not, say men when they have it, but when it is gone, they give it a good word. A mouth of understanding is more worth than gold, many precious stones and costly jewels. Take his garment that is surety for a stranger, and take a pledge to him for the unknown man's sake. Every man liketh the bread that is gotten with deceit, but at the last his mouth shall be filled with gravel. Through counsel, the things that men devise go forward, and with discretion ought wars to be taken in hand. Meddle not with him that bewrayeth secrets, and is a slanderer, and deceiveth with his lips. Whoso curseth his father and mother, his light shall be put out in the midst of darkness. The heritage that cometh too hastily at the first shall not be praised at the end. Say not thou, I will recompense evil, but put thy trust in the Lord, and he shall defend thee. The Lord abhorreth two manner of weights, and a false balance is an evil thing. The Lord ordereth every man's goings, for what is he that understandeth his own ways? It is a snare for a man to blaspheme that which is holy, and then to go about with vows. A wise king destroyeth the ungodly and bringeth the whole over them. No, the whale? No. What is that word? A wise man destroyeth the ungodly and bringeth the wheel over them. The lantern of the Lord is the breath of man, and goeth through all the inward parts of the body. Yeah. Mercy and faithfulness preserve the king, and with loving kindness his seat is holden up. The strength of young men is their worship, and a gray head is an honor unto the aged. Wounds drive away evil, and so do stripes the inward parts of the body. Chapter 21. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, like as are the rivers of water. He may turn it whithersoever he will. Every man thinketh his own way to be right, but the Lord judgeth the hearts. To do righteousness and judgment is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. A presumptuous look, a proud stomach, and the lantern of the ungodly is sin. The devices of one that is diligent bring plenteousness, but he that is unadvised cometh unto poverty. Whoso hoardeth up riches with the deceitfulness of his tongue, he is a fool, and like unto them that seek their own death. The robberies of the ungodly shall be their own destruction, for they would not do the thing that is right, that was right. The ways of the froward are strange, but the works of him that is clean are right. It is better to dwell in a corner under the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. The soul of the ungodly wisheth evil, and hath no pity upon his neighbor. When the scornful is punished, the ignorant take the better heed, and when a wise man is warned, he will receive the more understanding. The righteous informeth the house of the ungodly, but the ungodly go on still after their own wickedness. Whoso stoppeth his ears at the crying of the poor, he shall cry himself and not be heard. A privy reward? No. Is it privy? A prey? I think it's privy. Reward pacifieth displeasure, and a gift in the bosom stilleth furiousness. The just delighteth in doing the thing that is right, but the workers of wickedness abhor the same. The man that wandereth out of the way of wisdom shall remain in the congregation of the dead. He that hath pleasure in banquets shall be a poor man. Whoso delighteth in wine and delicates shall not be rich. The ungodly shall be given for the righteous, and the wicked for the just. It is better to dwell in a wilderness than with a chiding and an angry woman. Yeah. In a wise man's house there is a great treasure and plenteousness, but a foolish body spendeth up all. Whoso followeth righteousness and mercy findeth both life, righteousness, and honor. A wise man winneth the city of the mighty, and as for strength that they trust in, he bringeth it down. Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue, the same keepeth his soul from troubles. He that is proud and presumptuous is called a scornful man, which in wrath dare work maliciously. The voluptuousness of the slothful is his own death, for his hand will not labor. He coveteth and desireth all the day long, but the righteous is always giving and keepeth nothing back. The sacrifice of the ungodly is an abomination, for they offer the thing that is gotten with wickedness. A false witness shall perish, but he that will be content to hear shall always have power to speak himself. An ungodly man goeth forth rashly, but the just reformeth his own way. There is no wisdom, there is no understanding, there is no counsel against the Lord. The horse is prepared against the day of battle, but the Lord giveth the victory. Chapter 22. A good name is worth more, than great riches, and loving favor is better than silver and gold. Whether riches or poverty do meet us, it cometh all of God. A wise man seeth the plague and hideth himself, but the foolish go on still and are punished. The end of lowliness and the fear of the Lord is riches, honor, prosperity, and health. Spears and snares are in the way of the froward, but he that will keep his soul, let him flee from such. If thou teachest a child in his youth what way he should go, he shall not leave it when he is old. The rich ruleth the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. He that soweth wickedness shall reap sorrow, and the rod of his plague shall destroy him. A loving eye shall be blessed, for he giveth of his bread unto the poor. Cast out the scornful man, and so shall strife go out with him. Yea, variance and slander shall cease. Whoso delighteth to be of a clean heart and of gracious lips, the king shall be his friend. The eyes of the Lord preserve knowledge, but as for the words of the despiteful, he bringeth them to naught. The slothful body saith, there is a lion without, I might be slain in the street. The mouth of a harlot is a deep pit, wherein he falleth, that the Lord is angry withal. Foolishness sticketh in the heart of the lad, but the rod of correction driveth it away. Whoso doth a poor man wrong to increase his own riches, giveth calmly unto the rich, and at the last cometh to poverty himself. My son, bow down thine ear, and hearken unto the words of wisdom. Apply thy mind unto my doctrine. For it is a pleasant thing if thou keep it in thine heart, and practice it in thy mouth, that thou mayest always put thy trust in the Lord. Have not I warned thee very oft with counsel and learning, that I might shew the truth, and that thou with the verity mightiest answer them that lay anything against thee? See that thou rob not the poor because he is weak, and oppress not the simple in judgment. For the Lord himself will defend their cause, and do violence unto them that have used violence. Make no friendship with an angry, willful man, and keep no company with the furious, lest thou learn his ways and receive hurt unto thy soul. Be not thou one of them that bind their hand upon promise, and are surety for debt. For if thou hast nothing to pay, he shall take away thy bed from under thee. Thou shalt not remove the landmark which thy foreelders have set. Seest thou not that they which be diligent in their business stand before kings, and not among the simple people? Chapter 23. When thou sittest at the table to eat with a lord, order thyself mannerly with the things that are set before thee. Measure thine appetite, and if thou wilt rule thine own self, be not over great of his meat, for meat belongeth, begleth, what's that word? Be not over greedy of his meat, for meat belongeth and deceiveth. Take not over great travail and labor to be rich. Beware of such a purpose. Why wilt thou set thine eye upon the thing which suddenly vanisheth away? For riches make themselves wings, and take their flight like an angel into the air. Eat not thou with the envious, and desire not his meat, for he hath a merriless heart. He saith unto thee, eat and drink as were as her. Some of these words, my goodness. Verse 7. For he hath a merryless heart. He saith unto thee, eat and drink as his heart is not with thee. As his heart is not with thee. Yea, the morsels that thou hast eaten shall thou partake, unless those sweet words. Tell nothing into the ears of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of thy words. Remove not the old landmark, and come not within the field of the fatherless. For he that delivereth them is mighty, even he shall defend their cause against thee. Apply thine heart unto learning, and thine ear to the words of knowledge. Withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die thereof. Thou smitest him with the rod, but thou deliverest his soul from hell. My son, if thy heart receive wisdom, my heart also shall rejoice. Yea, my reins shall be very glad, if thy lips speak the thing that is right. Let not thine heart be jealous to follow sinners, but keep thee still in the fear of the Lord all the day long. For the end is not yet come, and thy patient abiding shall not be in vain. My son, give ear and be wise, so shall thine heart prosper in the way. Keep no company with winebibbers or riotous eaters of flesh, for such as be drunken and riotous shall come to poverty, and he that is given to much sleep shall go with a ragged coat. Give ear unto thy father that begat thee, and despise not thy mother when she is old. Labor for to get the truth, sell not away wisdom, nurture and understanding. For a righteous father is marvelous glad of a wise son, and delighteth in him. So shall thy father be glad, and thy mother that bare thee shall rejoice. My son, give thine heart, and let thine eyes have pleasure in my ways. For a whore is a deep grave, and a harlot is a narrow pit. She lurketh like a thief, and those that be not aware she bringeth unto her. Where is who? Where is sorrow? No, woe, not who. Forgive me. Verse 29. Where is woe? Where is sorrow? Where is strife? Where is brawling? Where are wounds without a cause? Where be bereaved eyes? Even among those that be ever at the wine, and seek out where the best is. Look not thou upon the wine, how it is red, and what a color it giveth in the glass. It goeth down softly, and at the last it biteth like a serpent, and stingeth as an adder. So shall thine eyes look unto strange women, and thine heart shall muse upon froward things. Yea, thou shalt be as though thou sleepest in the midst of that sea, or upon the top of the mast. They wounded me, shalt thou say, but it hath not hurt me. They smote me, but I felt it not. When I am well wakened, I will go to the drink again. Yeah, so you do. He's basically saying you do a lot of craziness when you get drunk. You don't want to be doing that. Chapter 24. Be not thou jealous over wicked men, and desire not thou to be among them. For their heart imagineth to do hurt, and their lips talk of mischief. Through wisdom an house shall be builded, and with understanding shall be set up. Through discretion shall the chambers be filled with all costly and pleasant riches. A wise man is strong, yea, a man of understanding is better than he that is mighty of strength. For with discretion must wars be taken in hand, and whereas are many thou can give counsel, there is the victory. Wisdom is a high thing, yea, even to the fool, for he dare not open his mouth in the gate. He that imagineth mischief may well be called an ungracious person. The thought of the foolish is sin, and the scornful is an abomination unto men. If thou be overseen and negligent in time of need, then is thy strength but small. Deliver them that go into death, and are led away to be slain, and be not negligent therein. If thou wilt say, I knew not of it, thinkest thou that he which made the heart doth not consider it, and that he which regardeth thy soul saith it not? Shall not he recompense every man according to his works? My son, thou eatest honey and the sweet honeycomb, because it is good and sweet in thy mouth. Even so shall the knowledge of wisdom be unto thy soul, as soon as thou hast gotten it. And there is good hope, yea, they shall hope. No, yea, they hope. I'm sorry, I said it all off. Forgive me. Verse 14. Even so shall the knowledge of wisdom be unto thy soul, as soon as thou hast gotten it. And there is good hope, yea, thy hope shall not be in vanity. Lay no private weight wickedly upon the house of the righteous, and disquiet not his resting place. For a just man falleth 7 times, and riseth up again, but the ungodly fall into wickedness. Rejoice not thou at the fall of thine enemy, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth, lest the Lord, when he see it, be angry, and turn his wrath from him unto thee. Let not thy wrath and jealousy move thee to follow the wicked and ungodly. And why? The wicked have nothing to hope for, and the candle of the ungodly shall be put out. My son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and keep no company with the slanderous. For their destruction shall come suddenly, and who knoweth the far of them both, the fair of them both? These are also the sayings of the wise. It is not good to have respect of any person in judgment. He that saith to the ungodly, Thou art righteous, him shall the people curse, yea, the community shall abhor him. But they that rebuke the ungodly shall be commended, and a rich blessing shall come upon them. He maketh himself to be well beloved, that giveth a good answer. First make up thy work that is without, and look well unto that which thou hast in the field, and then build thine house. Be no false witness against thy neighbor, hurt him not with thy lips. Say not, I will handle him, even as he hath dealt with me, and will reward every man according to his deeds. I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of the field of the slothful, and by the vineyards of the foolish man. And lo, it was all covered with nettles, and stood full of thistles, and the stone wall was broken down. This I saw and considered it well. I looked upon it and took it for a warning. Yea, sleep on still a little, slumber a little, fold thine hands together yet a little. So shall poverty come unto thee, as one that travaileth by the way, and necessity like a weaponed man. A weapon man. Chapter 25. I'm sorry, my stomach's making noises. These also are the sayings of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, gathered together. It is the honor of God to keep a thing secret, but the king's honor is to search out a thing. The heaven is high, the earth is deep, the king's heart is unsearchable. Take the dross from the silver, and there shall be a clean vessel thereof. Take away ungodliness from the king, and his seat shall be established with righteousness. Put not forth thyself in the presence of the king, and praise not into the place of great men. Better is it that it be said unto thee, Come up hither, than thou be set down in the presence of the king, whom thou seest with thine eyes. Be not haste to go to the law, lest haply thou order thyself so at the last, that thy neighbor put thee to shame. Handle thy matter with thy neighbor himself, and discover not another man's secret, lest when men hear thereof, it turn to thy dishonor, and lest thine evil name do not cease. A word spoken in due season is like apples of gold in a silver dish. The correction of the wise is to an obedient ear a golden chain and a jewel of gold. Like as the winter cool in the harvest, so is a faithful messenger to him that sent him, and refresheth his master's mind. Whoso maketh great boast and giveth nothing is like clouds and wind without rain. With patience may a prince be pacified, and with a soft tongue may rigorousness be broken. If thou findest honey, eat so much as is sufficient forth, lest thou be overfull and purrbake it out again. I'm thinking that means vomit. I'm not positive, but I think it does. Withdraw thy foot from thy neighbor's house, lest he be weary of thee, and so abhor thee. Whoso beareth false witness against his neighbor is a very spear and sword and a sharp arrow. The hope of the ungodly in time of need is like a rotten tooth and a slippery foot. Whoso singeth a song to a wicked, her heart clothed him with rags in the cold and poured vinegar upon chalk. If thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For so shalt thou heap coals of fire upon his head, and the Lord shall reward thee. The north wind driveth away the rain, even so doth an earnest, sober countenance backbiter's tongue. Even so doth an earnest, sober countenance's backbiter's tongue. It is better to sit in a corner under the rose than with a brawling woman in a wide house. A good report out of a far country is like cold water to a thirsty soul. A righteous man falling down before the ungodly is like a troubled well at a spring that is destroyed. Like as it is not good to eat too much honey, even so he that will search out high things, it shall be heavy for him. He that cannot rule himself is like a city which is broken down and hath no walls. Chapter 26. Like as snow is not meat in summer, nor rain in harvest, even so is worship unseemly for a fool. Like as the bird and the swallow take their flight and flee here and there, so the curse that is given in vain shall not light upon a man. Unto the horse belongeth a whip, to the ass a bridle, and a rod to the fool's back. Give not the fool an answer after his foolishness, lest thou become like unto him. But make the fool an answer to his foolishness, lest he be wise in his own conceit. He is lame of his feet, yea, drunken is his... No, I said it wrong. He is lame of his feet, yea, drunken is he in vanity that committeth anything to a fool. Like as it is an unseemly thing to have legs, and yet to halt, even so is a parable in the fool's mouth. He that setteth a fool in high dignity, that is even as if a man did cast a precious stone up on the gallows. A parable in a fool's mouth is like a thorn that pricketh a drunken man in the hand. A man of experience discerneth all things well, but whoso hireth a fool, hireth such one as will take no heed. Like as the dog turneth again to his vomit, even so a fool beginneth his foolishness again afresh. If thou seest a man that is wise in his own conceit, there is more hope in a fool than in him. The slothful saith, there is a leopard in the way, and a lion in the midst of the streets. Like as the door turneth about upon the threshold, even so doth the slothful welter himself in his bed. The slothful body thrusteth his hand into his bosom, and it grieveth him to put it again to his mouth. The sluggard thinketh himself wiser than, I think that's seven men that sit and teach. Whoso goeth by and meddleth with other men's strifes, he is like one that taketh a dog by the ears. Like as one shooteth deadly arrows, and darts out of a private place, even so doth a dissembler with his neighbor. And then saith he, I did it but in sport. Where no wood is, there the fire goeth out, and where the backbiter is taken away, there the strife ceaseth. Coals kindle heat, and wood the fire, even so doth a brawling fellow stir up variance. A slanderer's words are like flattery, but they pierce the inward parts of the body. Venomous lips and a wicked heart are like a potsherd covered with silver dross. An enemy dissembleth with his lips, and in the mean season he imagineth mischief. But when he speaketh fair, believeth him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Whoso keepeth evil will secretly to do hurt, his malice shall be shown before the whole congregation. Who diggeth up a pit shall fall therein, and he that weltereth a stone shall stumble upon it himself. A dissembling tongue hateth one that rebuketh him, and a flattering mouth worketh mischief. Chapter 27. Make not thy boast of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what may happen today. Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth, yea, other folks' lips, and not thine own. The stone is heavy, the sand is weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than they both. Wrath is a cruel thing, and furiousness is a very tempest. Yea, who is able to abide envy? An open rebuke is better than a secret love. Faithfulness are the wounds of a lover, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. He that is full abhorreth an honeycomb, but unto him that is hungry every sour thing is sweet. That, I gotta say that again. He that is full abhorreth a honeycomb, but unto him that is hungry every sour thing is sweet. Wow. He that oft times flieth is like a bird that forsaketh her nest. The heart is glad of a sweet ointment and savor, but a stomach that can give good counsel rejoiceth a man's neighbor. Thine own friend and thy father's friend see thou forsake not, but go not into thy brother's house in time of thy trouble. Better is a friend at hand than a brother far off. My son, be wise, and thou shalt make me a glad heart, so that I shall make answer unto my rebukers. A wise man, seeing the plague, will hide himself. As for fools, they go on still and suffer harm. Take his garments that is surety for a stranger, and take a pledge of him for the unknown man's sake. He that is hasty to praise his neighbor above measure shall be taken as one that giveth him an evil report. A brawling woman and the rose of the house dropping in a rainy day may well be compared together. He that refraineth her refraineth the wind, and holdeth oil fast in his hand. Like as one iron wetteth another, so doth one man confront another. Whoso keepeth his fig tree? Whoso keepeth his fig tree shall enjoy the fruits thereof. He that waiteth upon his master shall come to honor. Like as in one water there appear diverse faces, even so diverse men have diverse hearts. Like as hell and destruction are never full, even so the eyes of men can never be satisfied. Silver is tried in the mold, and gold in the furnace, and so is a man who is openly praised to his face. Though thou shouldest bray a fool with a pestle and mortar like oatmeal, yet will not his foolishness go from him. See that thou know the number of thy cattle thyself, and look well to thy flocks. For riches abide not always, and the crown endureth not forever. The hay groweth, the grass cometh up, and the herbs are gathered in the mountains. The lamb shall clothe thee, and for the goats thou shalt have goats' milk enough to feed thee, to uphold thy household, and to sustain thy maidens. Chapter 28. The ungodly flieth, no man chaseth him. Fleeth. The ungodly fleeth, no man chasing him, but the righteous standeth stiff as a lion. Because of sin, the land doth often change her prince, but through men of understanding and wisdom a realm endureth long. One poor man oppressing another by violence is like a continual rain that destroyeth the fruit. They that forsake the law praise the ungodly, but such as keep the law abhorreth them. Wicked men deserve not the thing that is right, but they that seek after the Lord discuss all things. A poor man leading a godly life is better than the rich that goeth in froward ways. Whoso keepeth the law is a child of understanding, but he that feedeth righteous men shameth his father. Whoso increaseth his riches by vantage and whining, let him gather them to help the poor withal. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, his prayer shall be abhorred. Whoso leadeth the righteous into an evil way shall fall into his own pit, but the just shall have the good in possession. The rich man thinketh himself to be wise, but the poor that hath understanding can perceive him well enough. When righteous men are in prosperity, then doth honor flourish, but when the ungodly come up, the state of men changeth. He that hideth his sins shall not prosper, but whoso acknowledgeth them and forsaketh them shall have mercy. Well is him that standeth always in awe. As for him that hardeneth his heart, he shall fall into mischief. Like as a roaring lion and a hungry bear, even so is an ungodly prince over the poor people. Where the prince is without understanding, there is great oppression and wrong. But if he be such one as hateth covetousness, he shall long reign. He that by violence sheddeth any man's blood shall be a renegade unto his grave. Renegade? And no man shall be able to succor him. Whoso leadeth a godly and an innocent life shall be safe, but he that goeth froward ways shall once have a fall. He that tilleth his land shall have plenteousness of bread, but he that followeth idleness shall have poverty enough. A faithful man is greatly to be condemned, but he that maketh too much haste for to be rich shall not be unguilty. To have respect of persons and judgment is not good. And why? He will do wrong, yea, even for a piece of bread. He that will be rich all too soon hath an evil eye, and considereth not that poverty shall come upon him. He that rebuketh a man shall find more favor at the last than he that flattereth him. Whoso robbeth his father and mother, and saith it is no sin, the same is like unto a murderer. He that is of a proud stomach stirreth up strife, but he that putteth his trust in the Lord shall be well fed. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but he that dealeth wisely shall be safe. He that giveth unto the poor shall not want, but he that turneth away his eyes from such as be in necessity shall suffer great poverty with himself. When the ungodly are come up, men are fain to hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. Excuse me. Chapter 29. He that is stiff-necked and will not be reformed shall suddenly be destroyed without any help. Where the righteous have the overhand, the people are in prosperity. But where the ungodly beareth rule, there the people mourn. Whoso loveth wisdom maketh his father a glad man, but he that keepeth harlots spendeth away that he hath. With true judgment the king setteth up the land, but if he be a man that taketh gifts, he turneth it upside down. Whoso flattereth his neighbor layeth a net for his feet. The sin of the wicked is his own snare, but the righteous, no, but the right ones shall be glad and rejoice. I think the righteous, but the righteous shall be glad and rejoice. The righteous consider the cause of the poor, but the ungodly regardeth no understanding. Wicked people bring a city to decay, but wise men set it up again. If a wise man go to law with a fool, whether he deal with him friendly or roughly, he getteth no rest. The bloodthirsty hate the righteous, but the just seek his soul. A fool poureth out his soul altogether, but a wise man keepeth it till afterward. If a prince delight in lies, all his servants are ungodly. The poor and the lender meet together. The Lord lighteneth both their eyes, lighteneth both their eyes. The seat of the king that faithfully judge the poor shall continue sure forever. The rod and correction minister wisdom, but if a child be not looked unto, he bringeth his mother to shame. When the ungodly come up, wickedness increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. Nurture thy son with correction, and he shall comfort thee. Yea, he shall do thee good at thine heart. Where no prophet is, there the people perish, but well is him that keepeth the law. A servant will not be the better for words, for though he understand, yet will he not regard them. If thou seest a man that is haste to speak unadvised, thou mayest trust a fool more than him. He that delicately bringeth up his servant from a child shall make him his master at length. An angry man stirreth up strife, and he that beareth evil will in his mind doeth much evil. After pride cometh a fall, but a lowly spirit bringeth great worship. Whoso keepeth company with a thief hateth his own soul. He heareth blasphemies and telleth it not forth. He that feareth man shall have a fall, but whoso putteth his trust in the Lord shall come to honor. Many there be that seek the prince's favor, but every man's judgment cometh from the Lord. The righteous abhorreth the ungodly, but as for those that be in the right way, the wicked hate them. Chapter 30. The words of Agur, the son of Leka, the prophecy of a true faithful man whom God hath helped, whom God had comforted and nourished. For though I am the least of all, I have no man's understanding. For I never learned wisdom, yet have I understanding, and am well informed in godly things. Who hath climbed up into heaven? Who hath come down from thence? Who hath holden the wind fast in his hand? Who hath comprehended the garments and the waters in a garment? Who have set all the ends of the world? What is his name, or his son's name? Canst thou tell? His name is Jesus Christ. All the words of God are pure and clean, for he is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. Put thou nothing, therefore, unto his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. 2 things I required of thee, that thou wilt not deny me before I die. Remove from me vanity and lies. Give me nothing. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Only grant me a necessary living. Lest if I be full, I deny thee, and say, what fellow is the Lord? And lest I begin being constrained through poverty, fall into stealing, and forswear the name of my God. Accuse not a servant unto his master, lest he speak evil of thee also, and thou be heard. He that bringeth up an evil report upon the generation of his father and mother is not worthy to be commended. The generation that think themselves clean shall not be cleansed from their filthiness. There are people that have a proud look and cast up their eyelids. This people's teeth are swords, and with their chafed bones they consume and devour the simple of the earth and the poor from among men. This generation is like a horse leech, hath two daughters. The one is called fetch the hither, and the other bring hither. There be three things that are never satisfied, and the fourth saith never how. The hell, a woman's womb, and the earth hath never water enough. As for fire, it saith never how. I think that's what it means. It's HOO, never who, never how. Whoso laugheth his father to scorn, and setteth his mother's commandment at naught, the ravens pluck out his eyes in the valley, and devoured be he of the young angels. There be three things too high for me, and as for the fourth, it passeth my knowledge. The way of an angel in the air, the way of a serpent over a stone, the way of a ship in the sea, and the way of a man with a young woman. Such is the way also of a wife that breaketh wedlock, which wipeth her mouth like as when she hath eaten, and saith, As for me, I have done no harm. Through three things the earth is disquieted, and the fourth may it not bear. Through a servant that beareth rule, through a fool that hath great riches, through an idle housewife, and through a handmaiden that is hire to her masters. There be four things in the earth that which are very little, but in wisdom they exceed the wise. The emmets are but a weak people, yet gather their meat together in the harvest. The Kanyes, I don't know what that word is, Jesus. The conies are but a feeble folk, yet make their couches among the rocks. The grasshopper have not a guide, yet go thee forth. The grasshopper have not a guide, yet go they forth together by heaps. The spider laboreth with her hands, and that in the king's palace. There be three things that go stiffly, but the going of the fourth is the godliest of all. A lion, which is king of beasts, and giveth no place to a man. A cock ready to fight, a ram, and a king that goeth forth with his people. If thou be so foolish to magnify thyself, or meddlest with any such thing, then lay thy hand upon thy mouth. Whoso churneth milk maketh butter, but he that rubbeth his nose maketh it bleed. He that causeth wrath bringeth forth strife. Have I really been reading for 2 hours? I had no idea. Wow. Okay, final chapter, chapter 31. The words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. My son, thou son of my body, O my dear beloved son, give not over thy substance and mind unto women, which are the destruction of even of kings. O Lemuel, give kings no wine, give kings and princes no strong drink, lest they being drunken forget the law, and regard not the cause of the poor, and of all such as be in adversity. Give strong drink unto such as are condemned to death, and wine unto those that mourn, that they may drink it and forget their misery and adversity. Be thou an advocate and stand in judgment thyself, to speak for all such as be dumb and scoundrels. I'm not sure what those two words are, guys. Verse 8, to as be Be thou an advocate and stand in judgment thyself, to speak for all such as be dumb and Scrollers? I'm not sure what that is. With thy mouth defend the thing that is lawful and right, and the cause of the poor and helpless. Aleph. Whoso findeth an honest, faithful woman, she is much more worth than pearls. Beth. The heart of her husband may safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. This is awesome because this is not in the King James. This is pretty cool here. This is the Hebrew alphabet. This is really awesome. I'm going to start again. Verse 10, Aleph. Whoso findeth an honest, faithful woman, she is much more worth than pearls. Beth. The heart of her husband may safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoils. Gimel. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. Daleth. She occupieth wool and flax, and laboreth gladly with her hands. Hey. She is like a merchant ship that bringeth her vitalities from afar. Va. She is up in the night season to provide meat for her household and food for her maidens. Zain. She considereth land and buyeth it, and with the fruit of her hand she planteth a vineyard. Heth. She girdeth her loins with strength, and encourageth her arms. Teth. And if she perceive that her house doeth good. Okay. And if she perceive that her house fire doeth good, her candle goeth not out by night. Jod. She layeth her fingers to the spindle, and her hand taketh hold of the rock. Calf. She openeth her hand to the poor, yea, she stretched forth her hands to such as have need. Lamed. She feareth not that the cold of winter shall hurt her house, for all her household folks are double clothed. Mim. She makes herself fair ornaments. Her clothing is white silk and purple. Nun. Her husband is much set by in the gates where he sitteth among the rulers of the land. Samak. She maketh cloth of silk and selleth it, and delivereth a girdle unto the merchant. Ain. Strength and honor is her clothing, and in the latter day she shall rejoice. Fee. I think. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of grace. Zaid. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not her bread with idleness. Cough. Her children arise and call her blessed, and her husband maketh much of her. Rest. Many daughters there be that gather riches together, but thou goest above them all. Sin. As for favor, it is deceitful, and beauty is a vain thing, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she is worthy to be praised. Tav. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. That is pretty awesome. Proverbs 31. I've always loved that. Never knew that went with the Hebrew alphabet. That's pretty awesome. Okay, brothers and sisters, keep your eyes on Jesus. I love you all so very much. I have really enjoyed it. I did not know that. How many? 2 hours and 9 minutes. Wow. Anyway, keep your eyes on Jesus and your nose in the book, which is the Word of God, and embed the Word of God upon the tablets of your hearts, so you and I will not sin against God or be deceived. I love you guys. Bye-bye.